sleeping souls. How long will you sleep in the lap of a witch called Maya? You have forgotten the way of devotional service and are lost in the world of birth and death. I have descended just to save you. Other than myself, you have no friend in this world. I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you are suffering. Take this Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura says, I fall at the Lord's feet having taken this Mahamantra. जीव जागो गोरा चंद बोले होता निद्र जाओ माया पिशाचिर कोले जीव जागो गोरा चंद बोले कोता निद्र जाओ माया पिशाचिर कोले बाजीबो भूलिया ऐसे संसार भितारे बाजीबो भूलिया ऐसे संसार भितारे भूलिया रहिले तुमी अविद्यार भारे भूलिया रहिले तुमी अविद्यार भारे तुम्हारे लइते आमी हईनु अवतारा तुम्हारे लइते आमी हईनु अवतारा आमी बिना बंधुआरा के आछे तुम्हारा आमी बिना बंधुआरा के आछे तुम्हारा एनेशी औषधि माया नाशी बरो लागी 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 हरि नाम मन महामंत्रा लो तुम्ही मागी हरि नाम महामंत्रा लो तुम्ही मागी भक्ति विनोदा प्रभु चरणे परिया भक्ति विनोदा प्रभु चरणे परिया सेई हरि नाम मंत्रा लोइलो मागिया सेई हरि नाम मंत्रा लोइलो मागिया जीव जागो गोरा चंद बोले होता निद्र जाओ माया पिशाचिर कोले हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jeev jago, Gorai Chand bole. Kota nidra jao maya, पिशाचिर कोले. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. जगन्नाथ बलदेव सहोदर माई की जय. नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय. पंचतत्व की जय. षड गोस्वामी की जय. गुरु परंपरा की जय. शिल प्रभुपाद की जय. शिल गुरुदेव की जय. टैगोर प्रेमधारी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Nishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashta prayesha bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati neshtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much for joining this Srimad Bhagavatam session. So today we will be discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 21st chapter, verse number 33. This chapter is entitled Instructions by Maharaj Prithu. Tamev yuyam bhajatatma vrittibhir mano vachakaya gunaisvakarmabhi अमायिन काम दुघांग्रि पंकजम यताधिकारावसितार्थ सिद्धयः तमेव यूयं भजतात्मवृत्तिभिर्मनोवचकाय गुणैस्वकर्मभिः अमायिन काम दुघांग्रि पंकजम यताधिकारावसितार्थ सिद्धयः तमेव यूयं भजतात्मवृत्तिभिर्मनोवचकाय गुणैस्वकर्मभिः अमायिन काम दुघांग्रि पंकजं यताधिकारावसितार्थ सिद्धयः. Any one Prabhuji and Mataji can recite. Yes, Swati Mata can recite.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. तमेव यूयं भजतात्मवृत्तिभिर् मनोवाचा कायगुणैः स्वकर्मभिः अमायिना काम दुघांग्रिपङ्कजं यताधिकारावसितार्थसिद्धयः. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Nirmala Mata, you want to recite, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. तमेव यूयं भजतात्मवृत्तिभिः मनोर्वचः कायगुणैः स्वकर्मभिः अमायिना कामदुगाङ्घ्रिपङ्कजम् यथाधिकारा वसितार्थसिद्धयः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
thank you. Word to word meaning synonyms. Tam unto him, eva certainly, yam of all you citizens, bhajata worship, atma own, vrittibihi occupational duty, manaha mind, vachaha words, kaya body, gunaihi by the particular qualities, sokarmabihi by occupational duties, amayinaha without reservation, kama dhuga fulfilling all desires, angri pankajam the lotus feet, yatha as far as, adhikara ability, avasita artha fully convinced of one's interest, siddhaya satisfaction. Translation and purport by Divine Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Please hear the translation and purport. Prithu Maharaj advises citizens, engaging your minds, your words, your bodies and the results of your occupational duties and being always open-minded, you should all render devotional service to the Lord. According to your abilities and the occupation in which you are situated, you should engage your service at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full confidence and without reservation. Then you will surely be successful in achieving the final objective in your lives. Purport. As stated in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Swakarmana tam abhyarchya. One has to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by one's occupational duties. This necessitates accepting the principle of 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. Prithu Maharaj therefore says, Gunai sarva karmabihi. This phrase is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvarniyam maya shrishtam guna karma vibhagashaha. The 4 castes, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, are created by Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the material modes of nature and the particular duties discharged in those modes. A person who is situated in the mode of goodness is certainly more intelligent than others. Therefore, he can practice the Brahmanical activities, namely speaking the truth, controlling the senses, controlling the mind, remaining always clean, practicing tolerance, having full knowledge about one's self-identity, and understanding devotional service. In this way, if he engages himself in the loving service of the Lord as an actual Brahmana, his aim to achieve the final interest of life is attained. Similarly, the Kshatriya's duties are to give protection to the citizens, to give all his possessions in charity, to be strictly Vedic in the management of state affairs, and to be unafraid to fight whenever there is an attack by enemies. In this way, a Kshatriya can satisfy Supreme Personality of Godhead by his occupational duties. Similarly, a Vaishya can satisfy the Supreme Godhead by properly executing his occupational duties, engaging himself in producing foodstuffs, giving protection to cows, and trading if necessary when there is an excess of agricultural production. Similarly, because Shudras do not have ample intelligence, they should simply engage as workers to serve the higher statuses of social life. Everyone's aim should be to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by engaging his mind in thinking always of Krishna, his words in always offering prayers to the Lord, or preaching about the glories of the Lord, and his body in executing the service required to satisfy the Lord. As there are 4 divisions within our body, the head, the arms, the belly and the legs. Similarly, human society taken as a whole is divided into 4 classes of men, according to them, their material qualities and occupational duties. Thus, the Brahmanical or intelligent men have to execute the duty of the head, the Kshatriyas must fulfill the duty of the arms, the Vaishya class must fulfill the duty of the belly, and the Shudras must fulfill the duty of the legs. In executing the prescribed duties of life, no one is higher or lower. There are such divisions as higher and lower, but since there is actually a common interest to satisfy Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are no distinctions between them. The question may be raised that since the Lord is supposed to be worshipped by great demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and others, how can an ordinary human being on this planet serve him? This is clearly explained by Prithu Maharaj by the use of the word yatadikara, according to one's ability. If one sincerely executes
more
his...
input, okay. Raise hand.
Hare Krishna.
Participants 12. Okay. Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
Krishna,
Can you please
Krishna,
mute
Krishna.
yourself, Mataji? Sorry. So whenever you come, please do mute yourself, otherwise it disturbs. Sorry. So the question may be raised that since the Lord is supposed to be worshipped by great demigods like Brahma, Lord Shiva and others, how can an ordinary human being on this planet serve him? This is clearly explained by Prithu Maharaj by the use of the word yatadikara, according to one's ability. If one sincerely executes his occupational duty, that will be sufficient. One does not need to become like a Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, Lord Chaitanya or Ramanujacharya, whose capabilities are certainly far above ours. Even a Shudra who is in the lowest stage of life, according to the material qualities, can achieve the same success. Anyone can become successful in devotional service provided he displays no duplicity. It is explained here that one must be very frank and open-minded, amayinaha. To be situated in lower status of life is not a disqualification for success in devotional service. The only qualification is that whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, he must be open, frank and free from reservations. Then by performing his particular occupational duty under the guidance of a proper spiritual master, he can achieve the highest success in life. As confirmed by the Lord himself, Striyo Vaishyas Tata Shudras Te api yanti paramgatim, 9.32 Bhagavad Gita. It does not matter what one is, whether a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra or a degraded woman. If one engages himself seriously in devotional service, working with body, mind and intelligence, he is sure to be successful in going back home, back to Godhead. The Lord's lotus feet are described here as Kama Dughangri Pankajam because they have all power to fulfill the desires of everyone. A devotee is happy even in this life because although in material existence we may have many needs, all his material needs are satisfied. And when he at last quits his body, he goes back home, back to Godhead without a doubt. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Gyantamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupagada Mahyam Dadati Subhadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagalanita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhave Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yonta Pravishya Mamavacha Vimam Prasuptam Sanjeevayate Kalashakti Dharasvadamnam Anyam Chahasta Charana Shravanato Prananamo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Mukam Karoti Vacha Pangam Langayate Gat Kripatam Namo Vishnu 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 Vishnu. So Hare Krishna, Prabhu's Mataji, thank you very much for keeping your appointment with Krishna today, 21st of January 2026. So verse to be discussed is 4:21:33 today. So let us take this opportunity to glorify the Lord and try to purify ourselves. There's somebody known as Zoom user. Everybody is a Zoom user. Hare Krishna. So as stated, we see in the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, no? So karmana tam abhyarchya. That means one has to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by one's occupational duties. See, everyone has got some particular duty, occupation, okay? So if by executing your occupational duty, you worship Krishna, then your life is perfect. So that is the instruction given in Srimad Bhagavatam. In Amisharanya, right? Atha Pumbir Duja Sheshta Varnashrama Vibhagasha Swanishtistasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam 1:2:13 Bhagavatam. O best among the wise born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste divisions and orders of life is to please the personality of it. Atha Pumbir Duja Shreshtaha. Pumbi by person. See, everyone is engaged in some occupational duty, right? See, formerly it was the Varnashrama, like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and the Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. So everyone has got some particular duty according to his position. Now, the different occupational duties have expanded. So it doesn't matter. If you are an engineer, if you are a medical man, It doesn't matter. Swakarmana tam abhyarchya. 18.46 Bhagavad Gita says. But try to serve Krishna by the result of your work. That is bhakti. So that we have to learn. See, our Krishna conscious movement does not mean, Prabhupada says, does not mean that we are going to stop all activities. This is not our mission. You be engaged in your activities, but don't forget Krishna. So this is our mission. Be always Krishna conscious. So see, therefore Krishna says how to become Krishna conscious. Yat karoshi yad dashnasi, right? Whatever you do, kurushva tad madarpanam. The result you give me. Then it will be Krishna consciousness. Always think that you are doing it for Krishna. See, of course, by the order of Krishna or by his representative, right? Then only, that only you have to do by the order of Krishna and or by his representative, the spiritual master. Not whimsically. See, if you do something nonsense, and if you think that I am doing for Krishna, that will not be accepted. It must be verified by the acceptance of Krishna and his representative. See, Arjuna did not fight without Krishna's order. Correct? So we must receive the order. If we say that we do not find Krishna, then Krishna's representative. That is sadhu. So Krishna's representative is sadhu. Therefore Kapil Deva is advising his mother Devavati, right? You associate with sadhus. So one should see, therefore, one should now know that as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna, one has his duty to render service unto the Supreme. This is the duty, right? So everyone should be engaged in devotional service. Everyone should be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Full Krishna consciousness. And that is recommended. Actually in the 18.46, in that verse, right, Bhagavad Gita. So everyone should think that he is engaged in a particular type of occupation by Rishikesha, the master of these senses. Okay. And by the result of the work in which one is engaged, Krishna should be worshipped. And if one thinks always in this way, he is in full Krishna consciousness. Then by the grace of Krishna, he becomes fully aware of everything. That is the perfection of life. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 12.7, Tesham aham samudharta. Krishna himself takes charge of delivering such a devotee. That is the highest perfection of life. So in whatever occupation one may be engaged, if he serves the Supreme Lord, he will achieve the highest perfection. See 12.6 and 7, right? The seventh verse is Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavamina chirat partha maya veshita chetasa. He very explicitly given here that the devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from material existence by Krishna. In pure devotional service, okay, one comes to the realization that God is great and that individual soul is subordinate to him. So his duty is to render service to the Lord. And if he does not, then he will render service to Maya. So the Supreme Lord can be appreciated only by devotional service. So therefore one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve him. One should work only for Krishna. It does not matter in what kind of work one engages. But that work should be done only for Krishna. But not whimsically. That is a precursor, right? So this is the standard of devotional service. Devotee does not say devotee, he does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Lord Krishna. So his life's mission is to please Krishna. And he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction. Just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. See, this process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of God Shri Krishna. So this necessitates accepting the principle of 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. Therefore we saw, Prathu Maharaj says, Gunai swa karma bihi. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita, right? Chaturvarnyam maya shishtam. Guna karma bhavasya. What are the 4 castes? Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. And they are created by Supreme Krishna, Lord Krishna, right? according to the material modes of nature and the particular duties discharged in those modes. So these four divisions, they are there within our body also. What are that? The head, the arms, the belly, and the legs. So similarly, human society, see, taken as a whole, is divided into four classes of men according to their mental qualities and occupational duties. So these Brahminical or intelligent men, they have to execute the duty of the head. The Kshatriyas must fulfill the duty of the arms. Vaishya class, they must fulfill the duty of the belly. And the Shudras, they must fulfill the duty of the legs. So, in executing the prescribed duties of life, Prabhupada says in the purport, no one is higher or lower. There are such divisions as higher and lower, but since there is actually a common interest among all these, what is that? To satisfy the Supreme Lord Krishna. Therefore, there are no distinctions between them. A person who is situated in the mode of goodness is certainly more intelligent than others. Therefore, he can practice the Brahminical activities. That is what is that? Speaking the truth, controlling the senses, controlling the mind, remaining always clean, practicing tolerance, having full knowledge about one's self-identity, and understanding devotional service. So in this way, if the Brahmana engages himself in the loving service of the Lord as an actual Brahmana, his aim to achieve the final interest of life is attained. Similarly, the Kshatriyas, his duties are to give protection to the citizens, to give all his possessions in charity, to be strictly Vedic in the management of the state of affairs, and to be unafraid to fight whenever there is an attack by enemies. So in this way, a Kshatriya can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his occupational duties. Now Vaishya, he can satisfy Krishna by properly executing his occupational duties. How? Engaging himself in producing foodstuffs, giving protection to cows, and trading if necessary when there is an excess of agricultural production. This is Vaishya. Then Shudras, they do not have ample intelligence, okay, but they should simply engage as workers to serve the higher statuses of social life. They should serve the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and the Vaishyas. So everyone's aim should be to satisfy the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, by engaging his mind in thinking always of Krishna. His words always offering praise to the Lord or preaching about the glories of the Lord, and his body in executing the service required to satisfy the Lord. Body, mind and words, BMW. So the question may be raised that since the Lord is supposed to be worshipped by great demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and others, how can an ordinary human being on this planet serve him? So this is clearly explained by Prithu Maharaj by the use of the word yatadhikara, according to one's ability. If one sincerely executes his occupational duty, that will be sufficient. One does not, Prabhupada says, one does not need to become like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Ramachandra. Of course, whose capabilities are certainly far above ours, right? See, even a Shudra, who is in the lowest stage of life, okay, according to the mental qualities, okay, he can achieve the same success. Anyone can become successful in devotional service, provided it displays no duplicity. Telling something and doing something else. No duplicity. Straightforward, right? So one must be very frank and open-minded. Amayinaha. So to be situated in a lower status of life is not a disqualification for success in devotional service. We should understand this. To be situated in a lower status of life is not a disqualification for success in devotional service. The only qualification is that whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra, he must be open, frank and free from reservations. Straightforward. Truthful, right? So then by performing his particular occupational duty, under the guidance of a proper spiritual master, he can achieve the highest success in life. That's why 9.32 Bhagavad Gita says, confirmed by Krishna himself, Sriyo Vaishyas tata Shudras te api anti param gatim. It does not matter what one is, whether a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra or a degraded woman. If one engages himself seriously in devotional service, working with body, mind and intelligence, he is sure to be successful in going back home, back to Bharat. Sure, this is a guarantee given by Krishna in 9.32 Bhagavad Gita. So the Lord's lotus feet are described as, in this verse, 4:21-33, Kama Dughangri Pankajam. Because they have all power to fulfill the desires of everyone, right? So a devotee is happy, even in this life, because although in material existence we have many needs, right? All his material needs are satisfied. And when he at last quits his body, he goes back home, back to Godhead, without a doubt. There is no doubt about this. See, each and every living entity can practically cure their material diseases. Every living entity, they can practically cure their material diseases. See the 31st verse in this chapter. We are now in the 32 verses before. It says, by the inclination to serve the lotus feet of the Supreme Person of Godhead, suffering humanity can immediately cleanse the dirt which has accumulated in their minds during innumerable births. Like the Ganges water, which emanates from the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord. Such a process immediately cleanses the mind, and thus spiritual or Krishna consciousness gradually increases. My Guru Maharaj used to say, the thing is, if we really want to cure our disease, we should try and follow at least one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam for the rest of our lives. If not, we are useless. He said, if we really want to cure our disease, right, we should try and follow at least one verse from Bhagavatam for the rest of our lives. Otherwise, we are useless. Otherwise, you are just wasting your time. You can't even follow one verse properly. That is why the diseases are always there. Then what do? You run to the medicine. My Maharaj used to say, what is going to happen will happen. What will not happen will never happen. So this we must understand. So we have to save ourselves from these medicines, hospitals and all. He was giving an example. He said, in our food pipes and intestines, and also our mouth, we have antiseptic liquid. Our saliva itself is antiseptic. The taps in our mouth are automatically released when eating. Correct? But we don't have the time to release Krishna in our mouths. Then we complain and run to the medicines. The thing is, we are completely artificial. We do Narsimha Kavacha, and then we go for treatment. And when we are cured, we call ourselves good devotees. We don't have faith in Krishna at all. We ask Krishna to save us, but we don't accept when He comes. Our faith is artificial. You must have full faith. We should just take to Sankirtan, right? Sankirtan clears the dirt. See, when we wash the cloth, it is clean. And when we wear it, we look nice. So, when we do devotional service, we become very nice looking. But what we do artificial devotional service. It's not correct. So, we should not lie about our devotional service. We should not be show about our devotional service. See, the more clean our life is, then Krishna willing, we will live longer. Keep smiling. If not, Krishna will take the smile away. Keep smiling. It's a horrible state, no, when Krishna takes the life out of your limbs, correct? The real medicine, Guru Maharaj beautifully says, the real medicine I tell you is there when you drink the nectarian juice of bhakti through the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. The real medicine is there when you drink the nectarian juice of bhakti through the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. And when you have time, please, you should go to Bhagavatam. Don't go to the technologies. If we want to be healthy, we should never presuppose leaving inities. Very important point. Don't judge people. See, one day that person will be bad, the next day he will be good. Everyone is a slave of Maya. What can they do? So don't be bothered. When you are bothered, you are anxious. And the disease is there. See, in your heart of hearts, you should always be completely detached. No attachment. So we should follow the instructions, right? Of Prabhupada, Krishna, and our Acharyas. Otherwise, it is like self-destruction by not following the orders. So let us pray, right? See, once, because we are attached to so many things, once there was a king who received a gift of two very beautiful falcons. Very beautiful. So he gave these two birds to his head falconer to be trained. Okay. So months passed, and one day the head falconer informed the king that one of the falcon was flying very majestically, very beautifully, but the other one did not move from the branch, not an inch. Now king called so many other people, like healers, right, all over the land to see what happened. But no one could make the falcon fly. So it was still lying there. So he tried everything else. So the king thought to himself, maybe I need someone more familiar with the countryside, no, the village side, to understand the nature of this problem. So he said, go and get a farmer. So in the next day morning, when the king was thrilled to see the falcon flying so high, so he said, bring me that farmer. Who did this miracle? So he asked him, how did he do it? How did he make the falcon fly? Now the farmer with the bowed head, right? He said to the king, oh king, it was very easy. I simply cut the branch where the bird was sitting. Right? Then he has to fly. Otherwise he will fall down, right? We are all made to fly. We are all made to realize our incredible potential. Each one has a potential as souls, being eternal part and parcel of Krishna. The perfection of our lives is to attain the Supreme Lord, right? Love of Godhead. And this can only bring us unlimited bliss, otherwise we are suffering. But most of the times, what happens? We sit on our branches, just like the falcon. What is our branch? Clinging to the things that are familiar to us in this material world. Comfort zone, right? See, the possibilities are endless, but most of us, they remain undiscovered. See, we conform to the familiar, the comfortable, right, the mundane, without realizing that the things to which we are attached are all prone to destruction, temporary. And the people with whom we are attached to are also prone to leave, they will be leaving us. That is why there is an axe which is required to cut the branch of our attachment to material things. Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita 15.3 and 4. Two beautiful verses. Naropamasyeha tatopalabhyate nanto nachadir nacha sampratishta ashvattamenam suvirudamulam asanga shastrena dridena chitva tata padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyah tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yata pravrati prasarita purani. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Therefore, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns. And there, surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began, and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. That's why in Bhagavatam we see that Devati Mata is addressing Kapil Dev as Swabhritya Samsara Taro Kutaram. You are the axe which can cut the tree of material existence. Bhagavatam 1.2.7, another beautiful verse, it says, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janeti Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahitukam. By rendering devotional service unto the Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from this world. That's why in the 32nd verse, in 421.32, in the previous verse, Prabhupada writes, Bhakti or devotional service is characterized by Vairagya and Jnana. Jnana refers to understanding that one is not this body, and Vairagya means disinterest in sense gratification. Jnana means that one is not this body. That is the knowledge. I am not this body. And Vairagya means not interested in sense gratification, disinterest. So these two primary principles of separation from material bondage can be realized on the strength of Bhakti Yoga. So when a devotee is fixed in the loving service of the lotus feet of the Lord, he will never come back to this middle existence after quitting his body. As is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna, right? Tyaktva deyam punarjanma neti mameti Arjuna, 4.9 Bhagavad Gita. So, devotional service helps us as an axe, AXE, to cut off our attachment to the branch of this middle world by helping us develop two strong wings of Jnana and Vairagya, which will lead us in our glorious flight to the supreme abode of Krishna. So in this verse, 4:21-33, which we are discussing, Prithu Maharaj is very nicely saying, engaging your minds, your words and the results of your occupational duties, and being always open-minded, you should all render devotional service to the Lord. So he is telling, engaging your minds, engage your words, right? Manmana bhagavat bhaktu madhyaji mamnam. That's another beautiful verse in 9th chapter and also in 18th chapter. Always think, engage, right? Beautiful verse. So according to your abilities and occupation in which you are situated, you should engage your service at the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead with full confidence and without reservation. Then you will surely be successful in achieving the final objective in your lives. See, a person who is able to liberate his dependents, children, citizens, disciples, liberate from the ocean of birth and death, alone can become a parent, a king, or a guru. So here we find that Prithu Maharaj, the perfect king, empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he very aptly advises his citizens about the ways of pleasing the Lord and rendering devotional service. This is the right method to rule the country, right? See, right from demigods down to the smallest ant, everyone are his servitors. We can never dare to compete with the service done by demigods or great acharyas. But the Lord is so merciful and He is pleased if we perform our own duties perfectly. See, people may say, Prabhuji, I am going to office and how can I chant? And you do your duty perfectly and very nicely, sincerely organized way. The boss will be happy, colleagues, everything will be happy. That happiness itself means Krishna consciousness. Because you are doing your duty sincerely, honestly and perfectly. You are time conscious, you are going on time, coming on, everything on time. So Prithu Maharaj says that we should engage our minds, words and results of occupational duties to the best of our abilities. Amayana, which means without reservation. See, we should be very simple and straightforward in our dealings with others. If one exhibits duplicity and he has a crooked heart, Krishna will not desire to reside in such a heart. And if he is displeased, we are sure to be doomed. Just like Duryodhana and everybody, right? Krishna went to give them knowledge. Asked them to give them five lands, right? That also, nothing, 5 villages, not given. So ultimately, the whole Kaurava was doomed. See, Prabhupada, he stated the importance of Amayana in the purport. Anyone can become successful in devotional service, provided he displays no duplicity. So one must be very frank and open-minded. And Prabhupada also said, it is not a disqualification to be in lower status of life. Only qualification is whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya or Vaishya Shudra, he means open, frank and free from reservation. Success in devotional service depends on whether our thoughts, words and deeds are pleasing to Krishna or not. So people with duplicit nature, they cause a lot of trouble to others. So Krishna is very nicely explained in 12.15. Yasma no dujate loko, loka no dujate chayah, harsha marshabhayo dveger, mukto yassacha me priyah. He for whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me. We should always remember this, perform devotional service with open-mindedness. We say, before starting Bhagavatam, Mokam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim, yatkripatamaham vande paramananda madhavam. It says, Supreme Personal Godhead as a form of Sachidananda Vigraha, transcendental bliss, knowledge and eternity. I offer my respectful obeisance to Him who turns the dumb into eloquent speakers and enables the lame to cross mountains. Such is the mercy of the Lord. So this apart, many times we start comparing ourselves with devotional service performed by others. And we start feeling very much discouraged that we are not able to do as much as them. We feel inferior. Actually, we should definitely be appreciating the service of others. But if at the end we become discouraged then it's not a good sign of devotional service. Actually, it's a sign of our false ego and our mental complexities. My Guru Maharaj is always encouraging all the living entities engaged in devotional service. And you can see how expertly he engages the living entities according to individual abilities and capacities. So all the acharyas in our parampara, all the disciples, according to their abilities and capacities, they give them the seva. So in order to achieve success in any endeavor, it is important that we have some goals and targets. It is often advised by experts that our target should not be unrealistic, but according to our own capacities. If you go beyond something target you cannot achieve, you become discouraged. Right? So the consequence of setting up an unrealistic target is that at the end of the day, being unable to stand up to the target, we feel depressed, frustrated. And in the process, we stop pursuing our goal. We stop devotional service. See, one of my god brothers, long back, he was talking to my Guru Maharaj and he was expressing his feelings of his inadequacy in performing devotional service. And Maharaj immediately advised him not to get discouraged, but to continue devotional service with utmost sincerity. He was emphasizing that only sincerity in whatever we are doing is the most important thing. We should try to do the best according to our abilities, but should never lose heart. Never lose heart. Don't be discouraged. Any difficulties come, don't worry. Continue doing. The important instruction is very similar. Is very similar to the 4:21:33, the current which Pradhu Maharaj is giving. So when we compare ourselves with personalities who are highly exalted, we tend to feel that we are not at all qualified to serve the Lord or to make any progress in this regard. So Srila Prabhupada lovingly guides us, right, in the purport. The question may be raised that since the Lord is supposed to be worshipped by great demigods like Brahma, Shiva, how can an ordinary human being on this planet serve him? So this is explained by Pradhu Maharaj by the use of the word yathadikara, according to one's ability. If one sincerely executes the occupational duty, that will be sufficient. See, one does not need to become like Lord Brahma, Shiva, Vacha, because they are far above. Even a Shudra in the lowest stage of life, according to mental qualities, he can achieve the same success. Anyone. So while honestly carrying out our occupational duties, devotional service has to be executed in avasita artha yathadikara namayina. What is the avasita artha is fully convinced of one's interest. That is, regular study of the scriptures and hearing from authorities will convince us of our real interest in life. Regular study, nityam bhava, and hearing from authorities. This will convince us of our real interest in life. Yatha according to our ability, we have to perform the devotional service. And amayana, devotional service according to our ability must be performed without reservations and with sincerity. See, suppose if one follows the rules and regulations of a Brahmana, his next life he may get a Brahmana birth, a learned family, okay. But that is not a very good gain. Now Narada Muni says, if one has begun the occupational duty of Krishna consciousness, giving up all other occupational duty, even if he falls down, that 1%, 2% will remain as his asset, so that he will be able to begin from the next life again Krishna consciousness. So whatever he has done, whatever you have done, that is your permanent asset. Permanent asset, that is because it is spiritual. So this Krishna conscious movement is spiritual. So as spirit soul is eternal, permanent, similarly any activity on the spiritual platform is eternal. It will never be lost. See, Prahlad Maharaj is also stressing on that point, right? Durlabam manusham janma tadapya ardhruvam artadam. Although this human form of life is not very long, but you can get the very nice result out of it. Artadham. Artha means profit. So real profit is spiritual profit. That is real profit because that will never be lost. In one of the classes, Prabhupada gives, he says, and material profit, suppose you become MA, PhD, doctor, or Rockefeller, or Ford, or something like that. You gain so many material things. But as soon as this body is finished, everything is finished. You are no more Rockefeller. You are no more MA. Suppose you get a birth in a human family, so you have to again begin your education to come to the point of MA, or you have to begin your life to become again Rockefeller. This Rockefeller estate is left here only, but you have to begin again. It will be there in front of you, but you don't know. You have to start again. You do not know whether you are going to be Rockefeller or some feller. Purpose is, at least it is certain that whatever material gain you acquire, that will be finished with this body. Finished with this body. That is a fact. So you have to begin again. But if you take up this Krishna consciousness, even 1%, that will never be finished. A seed, if you sow a seed on the earth and you put a little water, it will grow. It will never be stopped. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, He rupe brahmanda brahmite kona bhagyavan jiva Guru Krishna kripaya paya bhakti lata bija. Chaitanya Charita Madhya Lila 19.151 says, according to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems and some are going down into the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. If any of us are under a spiritual master, and a bona fide spiritual master is the grace of Krishna. Very fortunate. So by the mercy of both Krishna and spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. In Prabhupada, in Leelamrita, he says, I remember one of our teachers in our school life instructed that if you always think, I shall pass my examination with distinction, then you will pass in the first division. If you think, I shall pass my examination in the first division, then you will probably pass in the third division. And if you think I will some more pass my examination in the third division, you will fail. That means, if you expect more than your capacity, then it may be possible that at the time of examination you will pass. So, when chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that, not that you chant only 1 hour. No, one should practice. And that practice was shown by Haridas Thakur, who chanted almost 24 hours a daily. Now, but because we cannot chant 24 hours, so we have to engage always in service of Krishna. That will make you remember Krishna. Prabhupada said that the chanting of Hare Krishna is exactly like a lion's roar. Chanting Hare Krishna mantra is just like a lion's roar. See, as a lion's roar, it frightens all the small creatures. Chanting Hare Krishna ends all of one's sinful reactions. Prabhupada repeatedly warned the devotees to avoid the most dangerous offense, that of committing sins on the strength of the holy name. It's one of the offense, right? He said, but even if you fall down, there is no loss. That is the statement of Narada. If one takes to Krishna sincerely and executes devotional service, but then again falls down, still he will come back, because it is a spiritual platform. Just like we have practical experience, right? Prabhupada says, my students have fallen down, but whatever sincere service they have rendered, it is permanent credit. One day he will be saved, just like Ajamila. See, we are all spiritual aspirants who are leading a material life, right? We are spiritually aspiring, but we are also leading a material life. So always the question comes in front of us as to how to balance this equation. We have to remember that on the one hand, we have to lead our material responsible lives, and on the other hand, the instruction of the scriptures is that our mind has got to be engaged always in thinking of Krishna. So our lives have to be surrendered. So these are the two positions we are caught in the material world. The Shastras are very clear regarding the instructions. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita 18.46, by the worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and is all pervading, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. Beautiful 2 lines, right? He says, Yata pravartir bhutanam. All living entities will have to perform the different material duties according to their circumstances, and all these activities are coming out of the Supreme Absolute Truth Krishna. Yena sarvam idam tatam. Because he is all pervading. Everywhere he is situated. Mata partaram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Apart from me, you don't see anything in the manifestation. You be sure about it. He tells Arjuna. So if this is so, then every living entity is advised, swakarmana, through his own actions. Tam abhyarchya. You have to worship the Supreme Absolute Truth, Krishna. And then if you do that, siddhim vindati manavaha. Then those living entities will definitely attain perfection. See, like Janmashtami, so many programs happen, right? So we are sitting in the stages. So many programs, stalls, stands are going on. It's all because living entities like there is different living entities, no, who may not be fully devotional. They just come and they are situated in their occupational duties. They are helping us to do these things. This is the way to link our daily work to Krishna's service, engaging them in the service of Krishna. So it is told, do not disturb yourself. Do not run away from your work. Please start only one thing. That is, you keep chanting the beats and start chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Unless you do this, your life is completely useless. Without remembering Krishna, whatever you do is this illusionary energy. And illusion energy is compared to mirage. In the desert, no, you see the water. But as soon as you run to drink the water, there is no water at all. It appears that there is water. So without Krishna, you may feel that you are very happy. And happiness is just within our reach, that you may feel. But you can't be really happy without remembering the absolute truth. These are very clear instructions from Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is our preliminary science. In any difficult situation, and we have so many difficult situations, please don't grind yourself in the miserable conditions. Instead, run to Krishna. Run to Krishna in the temple. Or have a nice temple altar in your own house. And you will experience that as soon as you go to Krishna and just join your hands and tell Krishna, Prabhu, I am yours. I am in a difficult condition. Please do whatever you like, but I can't bear this. And if you request him, you will see miraculously the difficulties disappear. This is something from the practical experience. It is not a mentally concocted idea. No. Vedyam vastam matra vastu shivadam tapatrayon moranam. Bhagavatam says, the highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Very beautiful. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. And such truth uproots the threefold miseries. Vedyam, as soon as you try to know Krishna, and to know Krishna, see, communion with the Lord by transmission of the transcendental sound vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Krishna is non-different from the whole spirit of Krishna, right? So the sound vibration is non-different from the Lord. You chant a simple verse and a simple prayer, and that transmission sound will connect you to the Supreme Absolute Truth, Krishna. So please, do not get rotten into this material atmosphere. We have a powerful Father. Recognize the authority of the Father and come to Him running. Not only at the time of difficulty, but all times we should run to Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhupada, for this opportunity to glorify the Lord. Hare Krishna, stop here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Tagore Vancha Kalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Bhayevcha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vishnu. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions or any points felt useful for you to put in your daily practice, please you can share. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
The falcon story is very good, Prabhuji. And one more thing, while eating, how our taste buds and saliva, everything come out while chanting, we should feel that ruchi to chant. That point is very good, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Very nice.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, you said we have to remember the Lord. Somebody is talking. Was it with me? Okay. Prabhuji, you said we have to remember the Lord all the time.
Yes.
So we are not chanting all the time. Like after 15 rounds, we do our daily activities, we go to office, etc. So how do we remember the Lord in our day-to-day activities?
Yeah, one example I already told in the class. That is, if you're going to the office, right? You cannot sit and chant or take Bhagavad Gita and read. And no, it's not possible. But if you do your duty, whatever you have a duty, you have the job profile, everything given to you, right? This is the job, your job. You used to do this thing, and you do it. Go on time, do your job, projects, deadline, everything you perform perfectly, sincerely, and honestly. And the boss is happy. People around you, they are everything. Client is happy. That is Krishna consciousness. That is your actually it is remembrance of Krishna. Because Krishna has told, right? Do your document duties and offer the result to Krishna. The result is what you get the salary, right? You offer it to Krishna. It's not that you could, when you get the salary, offer it to Krishna and take it and then utilize it in your day-to-day activities, for your material activities also. Because you offer to Krishna and you're taking it, that is you remember Krishna. So that is one of the things, right? But other things, of course, when you are drinking water, thank you, Krishna, for this. This is the taste of water. Go out, sun is there. It gives you, when it is very cold inside, you go out, you feel very warm, that's nice, hot. Thank you, Krishna, for giving this heat. Right? So the moon is also wonderful because of that the juices in the vegetables and the fruits, vegetables, everything is getting that juice and everything, right? And we are taking it, we offer it to Krishna and taking it as prachadam. So in each and every activity, right from morning when we get up till we go to bed, it can be by this. Krishna is given in the Bhagavad Gita, each and everything. Right? There are 15 places wherein we can see Krishna. So like so in that chapter only, we get various verses. If you go through, I just gave you an example. If you can go through it, definitely. Maybe I can share that 15 places when we can see Krishna. I hope it is useful, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, we should, without comparing ourselves with anybody, according to our own capacity, we should do our devotion with all honesty and without duplicity.
Correct.
And to reach this, in whatever, whether it's material activity or spiritual activity, there should be honesty and with no duplicity.
Correct.
And with a sense of detachment.
Absolutely. Very nice, Mataji. That's very
Thank
perfectly
you,
put. Thank you.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you very
Krishna.
much. Hare Krishna.
This adhikara has also come in karmani vadhikaraste. So there also you explain to us, Prabhuji, that according to our capacity and ability.
True. That's true. Yeah, that's what how Prithumara is teaching us how to rule, right? He is asking the citizens to engage your minds, right? And according to your ability. But in the current world, we don't see that. They themselves want to earn and enjoy themselves. Nobody gives them this education. That's a sad state of affairs. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, anybody else? Anything else? Otherwise,
Thank you, Prabhuji. My phone got disconnected. Thank
It's
you
okay.
for the wonderful answer. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay. So I'll stop here now. Thank you very much, Mataji, for this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare
We'll
Krishna.
stop.